I have been doing eBay for 5.5 years, and for the most part, my entire eBay career, I've been buying in bulk, buying wholesale, and doing massive deals that allow me to move a lot faster, save time on sourcing, in return make more money. In this video, I'm gonna give you guys a bunch of ideas on how to get wholesale for yourself, whatever kind of product you guys are selling. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so like I said, I have been buying bulk pretty much since I started. That was just the game plan that I wanted to go with because honestly, I truly believe that buying in bulk and doing bigger deals is really how you get lower cost of goods and how you can move much quicker. I'm not trying to spend 15 hours a week sourcing. I'd rather put that time into processing the inventory and getting those items up as quick as we possibly can so we can make more money quicker. I used to have a 16,000 item eBay store. It was massive and we were doing about $45,000 a month doing that. And the main thing that we did was buying in bulk, and then we would separate in my warehouse a bunch of the items, and then all we did was process them. But it was like a one-time buy per month, and then all we did for like an entire month was process all the inventory. And that was pretty much it. I went and bought a bunch of stuff one time and then came back and then just separated it and listed it on eBay, processed it, cleaned it, tested it, because it was electronics, right? It's not like clothing where the most you do is a wash, right? So that's basically how I ran that business for the long time. And that's where I'm trying to get at now with clothing. I've been doing clothing for 1 year, and I feel like we have done a really good job with the clothing. Right now I have a 4,000 item store. Most of the deals that I have done with clothing have been pretty big buys, but nothing super, super massive. The most I bought in one go was a 2,000 jean bale collection. And basically it was, just 2,000 pounds of jeans that were like Levi's and Wrangler. And that's the most I bought in one go. I have bought a 16-foot truck of like raw donations, but that was a little different. But I think overall, in terms of how much stuff I pulled out, the jean bales was the most I bought in one transaction. As I want you guys to understand, with wholesale, you have to be very careful. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're getting yourself into. There's no magic pill. There's no secret location where you can just go and get a bunch of stuff. There is, but you're not gonna find them online. All the best possible people that you know are gonna be really good for you, they're not gonna market themselves. All the people that I've ever done business with, like no one else knew about them and no one else could ever really find them. And that's how I really won. And the deals were so good that anyone would jump on it if they found out about it. So you have to hold those tight. You have to be careful with sharing those people that you do business with, and hopefully they don't get more customers, because if the stuff is really good and the price is good, then obviously more people are going to want to be able to purchase that. So there's not one website I'm going to recommend, not even my own. I do wholesale, but this is just so you guys can find your own thing on your own connections, so that you guys can have your own business, right? But I don't recommend any websites right now. Right now, let's just talk about how to find it on your own and see how we go. I personally think that websites are probably not going to be the way to go. I think it's mainly finding people, maybe online for sure. I have found quite a bit of people online where you can order stuff from them directly that maybe have like rag houses. Rag houses are basically recycling centers for clothing. And the way I was able to get my electronic supplier as well was just kind of going back to the basics of the supply chain. And I figured out that most of the electronics were going to e-waste recycling places, recycling centers. So, I stumbled upon that spot like that. And that's how I got my wholesale supplier for electronics. So, I just kind of went down the supply chain and figured that out. Yeah, guys, you're not going to find that spot on Google. You're not going to find a spot like that on Google. You're going to have to get your feet on the ground, go knock on random warehouse doors and see what's in there, because normally those places don't market themselves like that. One of the ways that I was able to find, that electronic wholesale supplier was actually through the flea market, because I was very active in the flea market. I was already making good money just going to the flea market, buying stuff, bringing it back and listing it, and kind of buying piece by piece. And I was having like a decent sized store, probably had like 800 items, just straight up flea market one by one, right? Actually ended up finding that wholesale supplier for electronics through the flea market, which is crazy, right? And right now, I have met some people with clothing, supply me with a lot of clothing through the flea market. So if you have markets, if you have flea markets, shake people's hands. Someone right now that I just bought $700 worth of clothing from, yesterday I got a phone call from the flea market guy, and he told me like, hey, I have a bunch of clothing, come check it out. And I spent $700 with him, one transaction. It would have taken me forever to go to a bunch of thrift stores probably 2 weeks worth of thrift stores for most people in order to fill up that car the way I did with the kind of quality that I got. And the price is much cheaper. $700 is a good amount of money for filling up a car, but I guarantee you if you get that like either Goodwill or Savers or any kind of thrift stores with the prices nowadays, it would have been like $2,000, and I got it for $700, and it was 1 hour. I went there, I got it, filled up the car, and I'm out. So a lot of people think of wholesalers, wholesale suppliers as someone that where you go on a website, click a button, and you get a pallet delivered to your door. That's not really how it works. Sometimes you can buy wholesale in person with people at flea markets, and that's honestly, I like doing that. So I'm just trying to be connected with people like that, where I just get a phone call whenever they're ready, and then I just pull up, fill up my car, and I'm gonna. With that one guy that I just bought $700 worth of stuff from, a car full, I started off buying 5 to 6 items and just saying hi, what's up, man? Hey, I'm just gonna take this right here, brother. Catch you next weekend. And then over time, you kind of both start building your businesses up together. Now he kind of expects me to go there, and I kind of expect him to have the kind of stuff that I want. And we kind of meet up on specific days, and we kind of know when to call each other, you know, when it's go time. And it doesn't have to be right off the bat buying tables full, buying cars full of stuff. You can take it slow, build a relationship. All this is, guys, with wholesale and just this eBay business in general, unless you're going to thrift stores, because if you go to thrift stores, all it is going to the thrift store and seeing what the thrift store people put out there for you. That's it. There's no relationships. You just go to the store, and that's cool. But if you want to go the wholesale route, if you want to build the business that way, it's all relationships. It's all shaking hands, being cool with people, because people do business with people that they like, honestly. And I try to be really cool with the people that I work with. You have to be consistent with them. If I just stop answering this guy's calls or something, then he's going to find someone else because he has really good stuff. And I'm sure he can find someone else that's willing to get that stuff for a great price. He gives me a great price because I pull up consistently and I buy a good amount, you know. So that's how I'm able to bring down the price quite a bit. So all it is relationships. You can build relationships through the thrift stores as well, with managers, with owners of the thrift store, if it's like a privately owned thrift store. One thing right now that I'm doing is I am offering like one-on-one mentorships, and right now it is closed, but the people that I'm working with, that's what we're working on, is building these relationships. One person that I'm working with right now already built up 3 relationships through his flea market that he never thought he was gonna be able to get. These people were charging 15 to 20 bucks at first per shoe, and he got them down to like $6 each, but he buys a bunch of them. But it didn't start off like that. He started buying a little bit at a time, shaking their hand, letting them see your face consistently, cracking a little joke here and there, and just building a relationship over time. Then you start asking little stuff like, hey, how you been, man? Like, oh, like, did you watch the football game this weekend? Stuff like that. And that goes a long way. It's not overnight. It takes a little bit of time to build relationships, but it can be done. One thing I know for sure works is just shaking people's hands, even at the Goodwill bins, just saying what's up. Because sometimes a lot of people go there all the time and they get a lot of product. There's a lot of people that do like markets and they sell like vintage, and sometimes they just want to get rid of stuff. So they know that I buy a lot of stuff. Sometimes I get a phone call and they're like, hey man, I have like 200 pieces of clothing right now. Do you want to buy them? I just want to get rid of them. I just want to make like $1 on each item if you're interested, just so I can get some money rotating. And I'll be like, yeah man, I'll pull up. I'll fill up the car. So just shake hands wherever you guys are at, wherever you guys are buying, wherever there's business being done, go shake hands, say what's up, because you never know who you can meet. And also, guys, that goes to the next point. Let people know what the heck you do. Like, even before I started doing my social media, everyone knew what I did. I sold electronics, and everyone in my local area knew I did that. You know, I would just post on Snapchat, post on my Instagram, and I had like hardly any followers. Like, I didn't have a social presence, really. But everyone knew what I did, that for my immediate area, because what I was doing was honestly pretty crazy with the massive warehouse selling a bunch of electronics, and everyone kind of just knew. And that opened up a lot of doors as well for other things. One thing as well, if you guys are not camera shy, if you guys would like to do videos, I encourage you to do videos. More people reach out to me with a lot of opportunities because I put myself out there. Everyone knows I sell clothing. So there's a lot of people that reach out to me and offer me clothing and shoes and some really crazy connections. Pretty soon, guys, actually, yesterday we just pulled the trigger on 35,000 pounds of clothing. So be on the lookout for that video. It's coming soon. But yeah, it's gonna be 18-wheeler full of clothing being dropped off here at the warehouse. And that was all made through social media because I put myself out there. I let people know what I'm doing. And people, for the most part, people like to help people out, and that they meet and they're like, oh, hey, I have all this stuff that you're looking for. Let's work together, right? And like I said, I was able to do that even prior to ever showing my face on social media. I was able to find that kind of supplier, and I was able to build that eBay business without even being known. I started my eBay YouTube channel only because I saw other people doing it, and I was like, what the heck? I feel like I'm doing it pretty cool. And for many years, I was just in the dark. And I was like, I want to put myself out there like that. Let's see what happens. It can only be a positive, right? So if you're considering maybe doing social media, try it out. Give it a shot. You never know. I never thought I was going to have this many followers. We have like 250,000 followers across TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And it's honestly a blessing. But, you know, I'm trying to spread the message to more people that this is abundant and we can all get better, you know, doing this together. Like me getting all this stuff, even the 35,000 pounds, will affect no one, because that's stuff that was going to be in the dark somewhere. Like there's so much stuff out there, guys, that we are passing up on, and there's an opportunity for all of us to win. I truly believe that, especially with clothing. I saw a stat that was pretty crazy. If people stop buying clothes right now and we just reuse what is out there in the market right now, I think 8 generations of people will have clothing moving forward, which is like 300-400 years, right? Or something like that. If people live to like 80, I don't know the math, guys, but that is a pretty crazy stat on how much clothes is out there. There's so much stuff that gets exported out of the country. So let's try to get it before it gets exported, before it's in the rag houses, before it gets cut up into pieces and it goes to Pakistan, India, Brazil. Let's try to get a piece of the pie before it goes out there. And you know, that's the way I see it. Because no matter what, someone is going to get it, or it's going to get thrown in the trash. So, you know, we can make money, change our situation just by giving it a shot. Guys, that just goes with thinking outside of the box. You know, when I was going to thrift stores, when I was going to Goodwill bins, I was just thinking like, how can I get everything that the thrift store has in one shot? How can I be the person in the back without being like digging in someone else's business, right? Like how can I do that? That was my thought process from the get-go. Like me getting into clothing, my end game was always doing something massive with it. And I'm barely getting going, you know, like I haven't quite done it yet. But I wasn't thinking I'm going to be going to thrift stores, picking out 5-6 items in each thrift store and going from store to store. That was never my idea. My idea is to build massive relationships with people, to buy a lot of stuff, to build an absolute empire of clothing and shoes and a little bit of electronics. So you just kind of have to think outside the box. Where is this stuff coming from? Where are these electronics going to when someone donates an electronic? Where does it go? Recycling centers. So you have to think outside of the box. So people will just take what the world gives them at the Goodwills, at the thrift stores, or you could take some stuff for yourself and create your own thing. And that's what I'm going to be trying to do pretty soon. Which I think I'm going to revolutionize the way people are doing eBay with clothing, and we're going to see what happens. But you're just going to have to think outside of the box, think differently. That's how you win in any industry. Thinking outside the box, doing stuff differently, and that's how you dominate any space. Another little way that I have seen a lot of people win on eBay and getting stuff delivered to them, having the product come to you. So I used to watch this guy on YouTube way back in the day when I first started doing electronics, and this actually worked. I tried it out, and this guy would just make posts on Facebook saying, I buy phones. Any phone you have, send me pictures and condition, and I'll make you an offer. Kind of like a pawn shop, but through Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. And he would just make like a little banner, post it on Facebook, and then people would message him like, hey, I have this iPhone 5, I have this iPhone 10. I have this iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's a little cracked here. It comes with a charger. It comes with a box. And then the guy would shoot him an offer. And for the most part, I noticed that people were kind of like lowballing, or at least trying to get 50% of what the value was to the person trying to sell it. just so they have room for profit. And whoever was down, they did a deal. And if they weren't down, no problem, because it wasn't in person. And a lot of people would message him, a lot of them. And whenever I tried it out, it worked really well. Like, so many people messaged me. I got like 40 messages within one day, because everyone has a phone, everyone has clothing, everyone has jeans, everyone has shoes. Make a post. Post on your Instagram story, post on your Snapchat, post on your Facebook, post on Twitter saying that you buy clothes. Make a little banner, like, sell me your clothing collection, and lowball them, because you're gonna take the risk of listing the stuff, waiting for it to sit, paying the taxes, doing the work on listing it, storing it, bagging it, shipping it. So make sure it is worth your while. Try to go below 50% of the market value. And that's just the way it goes, because if you pay out 50%, then the other 50% is already going to the taxes, the eBay, the materials, the time that you put into it. So try to lowball people, and whoever's down, go for it. And if they're not down for the lower than 50%, 20% of what the market value is, then it's not a deal for you. Try to get the best deal possible for yourself, but a lot of people are gonna reach out to you, and that is a great way to buy a good amount of stuff. Another way to get some wholesale and make some good connections, guys, is actually going on Whatnot and going on live streams and seeing who is doing a lot of volume. So I have this guy in my group, Nate. He does TikToks, and he's pretty young. He's a smart guy. And he's been posting in the group and on his TikToks that he goes on Whatnot streams, and he sees who is doing a lot of volume of specific kind of clothes that he likes. He likes a lot of vintage, so he sees, hey, who's doing all this volume with the vintage? And then he just reaches out to them directly and be like, hey man, can you just send me a 200-pound bale? Let me try it out. And he's been doing that, and he's been getting a lot of wholesale. If you guys are interested in joining my Discord community, guys, it is completely free. We're surrounded by people just trying to get better on eBay, and we have a general chat where we send a bunch of messages of what we're up to, brainstorming. They were the first people to know that I'm buying 35,000 pounds. I just like said exactly how much I paid, like, hey man, this is what I'm up to. And we just kind of brainstorm in there. Completely free to join forever. Like, there's no catch. Just there's a ton of information already loaded in there as well that can hopefully help you guys out. And it's just cool to be a part of a community. There's like 450 people in there already. Let's try to get it to like 3,000 people. This is the first time I've mentioned it on the YouTube channel, that it is completely free for life. Never gonna charge you guys anything. Be a part of my community, and let's all get better together. But yeah, guys, Nate has been doing a really good job about that. Give it a shot. There's plenty enough for everyone. And if it's someone that really does volume like that has like a massive operation, even if 10 people hit up the same person, there's just so much clothing to go around, especially in those rack houses, that it's abundant. You have to be an absolute whale to be like, you know, hey, stop selling to everyone else, only sell to me. And then in that case, that person could still be buying more truckloads or containers full of clothing, because they're getting more money, and that guy is buying a specific amount of items, and then they can still do business with everyone, because that clothing space is absolutely abundant, especially when you get into the rack house world. Like, these people I'm talking about, some of them do like 5 million pounds of clothing a month, and they only do that much because that's all they could process. But if they had a bigger operation, bigger spot, more employees, they could do way more than that. It's literally abundant. We're talking about hundreds of millions of pounds of clothes donated pretty much a month across the United States. Like maybe 1 billion pounds of clothing being donated every single day. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous across the whole US. So it's just about getting our little piece of the pie and putting our hand wherever the product is flowing. Just put your hand in the way and get as much as you can, because that's all we need. Even to make $1 million a year on eBay, like, I don't need to be the #1 clothing person in the world. All I need is to get my little piece of the pie as it's flowing through, because it's gonna flow through no matter what. Let me just put my hand out there and put a little bag there and grab the pieces that I need in order to make my store successful, my business successful, because it's so abundant. If we were to grab everything that's out there and put it up on eBay, obviously we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. So in order to make $1 million, it is not that crazy to do. In order to make $5,000 a month, it's not that crazy to do. It is out there. Put ourselves in the way and grab our little piece of the pie. because it's already out there. It's trying to make $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month. It's kind of the same thing. It's just doing more volume with it and thinking in different ways. If I am able to figure out how to get to $100,000 a month, I just thought differently than most people and had a different strategy than most people that are doing $4,000 or $5,000 a month. And yeah, guys, that's kind of the gist of how to get wholesale. I know it didn't specifically say exactly where to go, what website. There's not one way to do wholesale. There's many different ways, and hopefully with this video, I kind of open your mind to think differently, think in different ways, make different connections. Because if it was just a website where you go and you get a pallet and it's all fire and you make a bunch of money right away, everyone would know about it already. Like, for sure, everyone would just be buying from it like every single day and everyone would be getting rich, right? But that's not the case. Honestly, the hardest part of getting your eBay business off the ground is finding that solid couple of people that you do business with and you get product consistently. That's the hardest thing. But once you figure that out, it's over. You're gonna get it done. But yeah, guys, think differently, think outside the box, and work hard on top of that, and you're gonna be unbeatable. Let's be unbeatable, guys. Join my Discord down below, absolutely free. Drop a thumbs up. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one.